Sometimes with men, you have to read between the lines. No body, no crime. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham, set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Maroni and DeSimone.
And we're back for our next to last episode before the big finale.
Nobody, no crime, nobody, no crime, nobody, no crime, nobody, no crime.
Nobody, no crime. Nobody, no crime.
Do we ever run out of music?
I remember when we used to sing in the streets of Gotham Town.
Nobody, no crime.
The music generally fades out.
Does it? Oh,
yeah,
I never
generally.
noticed it.
No, but I was just thinking today, like, how crazy this whole year has been since September. Because, I mean, we got the 4-week break in the mini hiatus. But besides that, we've been doing Gotham straight for like 9-10 months now. So
it's like a baby.
I know. We're about to
birth
a big mob war.
A big mob war.
We're about to birth a couple mobsters. But first off, speaking of the finale, we wanted to mention that next week, normally, and hello to the people in the chat.
Hey.
As always, we record this every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. EST at live.universebox.com with our chatters. Except for next week, we're going to be recording Wednesday to give you guys plenty of opportunities to get your feedback in.
Give us the feedback.
For the final episode. And yes, and I know the music's on. That's fine. I know, but something else you guys might want to be aware of, too, is the week after we're going to do a big season wrap-up kind of discussion, a hangout with a bunch of people.
I love hangout.
Yeah, and so if you guys are into that, if you have a webcam or a smartphone with a Google Plus app and you want to take part, definitely go ahead and shoot us an email over to legendsofgotham@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and get in touch with you.
Pull some people in.
Yeah, try and work that out. We'd like to have a big crowd, like 6, 7, 8, something like that would be usually about the right size. Definitely. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started and talking about this week's of Gotham, the Anvil or the Hammer. Amory.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and get us started with the rhyming, riddling summary, and your two little guys there.
My two little friends. Okay.
Yes.
Who teaches the ogre about bedside manner? According to hookers, it's not in his planner. Who really? Who taught Oswald the old switcharoo? It doesn't work on Maroni and Crew. Is Jim too angry? Just overtired. Will the oncoming war cause him to retire? Will Ogre's knife cause the damsel to stammer? Find out in this week's The Anvil or the Hammer. Of course, as I go to be dramatic, you turn away from me.
The Anvil or the Hammer. The Anvil or the Hammer. So, Emery, what did you think of this episode overall? I'm guessing that means you liked it.
Nobody, no crime. Nobody, no crime.
Nobody, no crime. Nobody, no crime. No, I really liked it too. I thought it was a really strong episode, and it really impressed me because we've all seen it going towards sort of a mob war. The entire season, the creators have said as much, but I was starting to kind of wonder, how are we going to get everything in position here in time for next week, right?
And then it was like,
yeah, everything just kind of slipped into place, and it was really cool, too. Something I wanted to talk about first here is just because it's a pretty unusual title. People might not catch the reference.
That would be me, who earlier said, hey, what did the title mean?
And I said, refer to my first point or just wait until we start the show, and I'll explain it. But yeah, the title of the episode is The Anvil or the Hammer, and this is a quote from a guy named Goethe. He was a big thinker about theater, drama, all that kind of stuff back in the 1800s, I believe. And he's actually a guy whose general philosophy of criticism we kind of use here and over on our Once Upon a Time podcast, Greetings from Storybrooke, to kind of make sure we're fair in our criticism of the shows. We can get into that later, though. The quote that they pulled the title from Goethe is, "You must either conquer and rule or serve and lose, suffer or triumph, be the anvil or the hammer." Oh. So basically the quote is saying that you in any situation you have to be the winner, the actor, or you have to be the loser, the actee sort of thing. The anvil and the hammer is kind of like at a forge or something, making a sword. And so, Ghost's basically saying that in any sort of conflict, one person has to be the person hitting the person who's losing or whatnot. Now, all the main characters in this episode kind of had this dynamic going on. So as far as I could interpret it, Jim is the hammer, pounding away at problems until they look the way he wants them to. You know, he wants Gotham City and GCPD and everything to be his vision of Gotham City and the GCPD. So he's the hammer pounding on the precinct until it fits his vision. And Penguin is the anvil, tired of all the pressure from the mobsters above him, like pounding down on him.
Okay.
So the fact that the hammer, Jim, owes the anvil, Penguin, a couple of big favors, makes me think that Jim will have to make some compromises to help Penguin come out on top next week in the big mob war that's coming up.
Interesting.
Maybe by the end of the episode, they'll have switched positions. Jim as the anvil and Oswald as the hammer pounding down on him.
Huh.
But that's what I was thinking.
Interesting.
Anyway.
So, dumb non-comic girl question.
Okay.
Maroni and Falcone, do they live on?
Do
they live to fight another day?
Yeah, in the comics, they're both mobsters at various...
They're still there?
In various continuities at various times. Falcone was a big player in Batman Begins.
Okay.
I don't know, Bruce, played a prank on him or something. I forget what the exact deal was before he left to go on his training and everything. Oh, and yeah, I hope our chatters are okay, because I just noticed most of the chatters dropped out. So I maybe we're boring.
No, I think they just have connection.
Yeah, but they stick around. So.
Okay, that was my question. I was just like, okay, we're having this giant mob war. Bruce Wayne is only 14 or 15. He's not going to be Batman for a little while, and you were already pretty familiar with the names when it started. So I was just curious what goes on with that.
Yeah, honestly, as far as predictions about how the war might go down and everything, I have a feeling Falcone, I don't think, is surviving this season, because they've been portraying him the entire season as
weak.
Well, wise, like the old kind of. He's the old power, and something has to come in to replace him. And so I don't think you can replace the head mob guy unless you kill him, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like a rite of passage. Although Fish came close, he almost left town for it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about that later, too. But you wanted to talk about good old Eddie Boy, right?
Oh, Mr. Nigma. Mr. Nigma. Okay. He brought the body to work. He works at the police station.
Yeah, that seems like a
seems like a bad idea.
Definitely.
In 2 gigantic suitcases. First of all, the guy wasn't that big. But, he brought the body to work. Wouldn't he? I think it would have almost been easier to steal the acid and take it to wherever he was.
Yeah, and the bad thing is that he's looked at as the weird guy at work anyway. Dragging a bunch of big suitcases around into work isn't going to help anything.
No, but I mean, I guess that also protects him, because it shows that nobody's gonna think twice about it. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I don't know. But yeah, it's does nobody care what he does all day though? The only person he interacted with was Miss Kringle, and that's just because she needed a file. There are other dead bodies that have to actually be tended to, right?
Yeah, I was actually surprised, because he even mentioned that Leslie was the one that was okay with him using the medical examining room. I figured they were going to have her come in at some point, walking on him. What are all these body parts about?
Exactly. Well, she's too distracted by some things. I don't know. She hasn't done much work in a while. Also,
why didn't Ed just put this in with the cache of body parts he used to get the medical examiner fired?
I don't know where that happened. But that just seems weird to me that nobody really must care what he does all day. Because for days he just does stuff.
Well, he seems like a guy who they don't really bug unless they need him.
Right. I mean, he spent an entire day stabbing watermelons. What is that? What did he do with the bone shards after he shattered them? After his little Hamlet-esque talk.
Which I really loved.
I loved the Hamlet-esque talk.
I wondered, though, I believe that the type of acid he was using, I believe it's supposed to dissolve bone. Maybe he just did that just for funsies.
I could see it being for funsies.
Yeah, but it reminded me of on Breaking Bad. They use this method to dispose of bodies every once in a while, including the little boys in later seasons.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, but so I expected it just to reduce the body to liquid.
Yeah.
And not to have the bone laying around still.
But it seemed to be the only bone.
Yeah.
I think he just saved it for some aggression.
No two bones about it.
No bones about it. Let's see. The letter was absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
The reading between the lines was phenomenal. Like, because she bought it. She
yeah.
bought every word of it. And then he really should have just left it so that we could see the enigma.
He might have.
No, he pushed it in.
Oh, did he?
He pushed it in.
Yeah, but that is such a classic Joker thing. Just because the thing
but
that
he's not the Joker.
Or not the Joker.
The
sorry, the Riddler.
Wrong character.
The thing that defines this character is just his obsession with giving everyone a fair shot to catch him. Like that's really what.
Yeah.
For lack of a better phrase, that's what gets him off. You know, in the situation, it's kind of just like, especially when he puts the riddle to somebody and they don't solve it or they don't even realize there's a riddle there. That's when he gets super giddy.
You could tell.
Yeah. And just so great to see him kind of leaning that way. And he also, Corey Michael Smith was did a lot of really good physical comedy in this episode too, which is so important for the Joker because he's a character who, you know, from Frank Gorshin to Jim Carrey on, is all about the physicality, you know, rubber band body kind of thing. Yeah,
he's doing amazing because I think I watched an interview or something with him, and he's very different in his like, just his person doesn't carry himself that way and talk that way and such. So it was really neat. It's nice to actually get to see him actually act.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and it's very intriguing. So Nigma.
Nigma.
I like the Nigma.
Okay, so they introduced a new character this week that fans of, like, say, Batman Begins or, you know, the cartoon shows or anything might be familiar with. A character name of Lucius Fox. And I thought it was really... Morgan Freeman played him in Batman in Dark Knight and all that.
Morgan Freeman.
Andy Dufresne.
Oh, stop with the Andy Dufresne.
Bruce Wayne. And Andy Dufresne.
Okay, keep going.
Or Insane in the Membrane.
Insane in the Membrane.
Insane in the Brain. No, but I really liked the portrayal of Lucius Fox because he just comes in and you kind of get the impression that he's been working with Thomas Wayne behind the scenes to kind of clean up Wayne Enterprises from the Court of Owls influence. Now, okay, I know they haven't confirmed Court of Owls yet or anything.
They've hinted enough.
They've hinted enough. Plus the reference when Bandersnatch or whatever his name is, Bunderflap.
Not Bunderslaw.
Bunderslaw. But when Bunderslaw is talking to Bruce and he's like, you know, when members of the Wayne family reach a certain age, they get this speech that tells them it's okay to be evil.
Right.
They, you know, indicating that this whole conspiracy and everything goes back generations. That feels very much Court of Owls.
Right.
Did you have something?
Yes, because one of the line that Lucius Fox says is, he wasn't the man that the company thought he was. He kept his best self hidden. Yes. So I thought that was really interesting that they knew him as two different people. Like, so Bunderslaw is being like, no, it's cool. Bad. Yeah. Sorry, I'm very distracted now.
Oh, no, it's cool. I'm going to bring this up in a second. I'm just trying to get it framed up here correctly. But the thing that line, the true self thing, got me thinking, I don't think they're actually going to do this on the show, but it reminded me of something, a Silver Age comic book story featuring Thomas Wayne.
Interesting.
Where he did hide his true self because he was the original Batman. He came up with this costume that was inspired by the drawings of Da Vinci, which is actually where Bill Finger got the designs for the original Batman costume from. And he goes to a costume party dressed like this, and he ends up encountering various criminal elements and stuff, and getting into fist fights and everything. Here you can see Bruce finds a home movie with his dad dressed as the Batman, winning the costume contest and knocking out the criminals. So if this is Thomas Wayne's full or true self that Lucius was referring to, that might be behind that little panel that slides out in next week's episode that we've seen in every preview for the past 3 weeks, I'd be pretty happy about it. It's never going to happen.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You really don't know. Like, all we can do is speculate.
Like how big of a just whoa would that be? Like the last couple minutes of the finale, whatchamacallit, the last couple minutes of the finale, they open up that panel
and there's a bat.
There's a bat suit back there. Like
season finale.
And everyone would be like, they're bringing it in too fast. They're bringing in too many characters too fast. Oh.
That's exactly what the problem is. All of the happy little fanboys would be like, he can't have the suit yet.
Yeah, and we're not completely making light of everybody who has these complaints. But the thing is, like, yeah, they could slow down a little bit, but then they're going to have the Penguin is going to be the star of every episode, and people are going to get sick of him really quick. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Like, I don't think they're going that fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have gone extremely slow. Like with Nigma's storyline, it took until like after the 4-week break. We had 2 hiatuses before his story got going, and he was introduced in the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Ivy Pepper in weeks since she realized she wasn't the cute one.
That's true. I mean, with the villains and stuff, it's a slow burn.
It's a very slow burn. The Penguin, in essence, has come and gone. There have been episodes where we barely got to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Fish has been gone for a couple episodes, and let's just face it, next week's our last episode.
If anything, like with the whole Enigma situation, like it was just a little disappointing because I realized that they're probably not going to break much with him this season. Like this murder thing and the ramifications of it are probably going to be it for his story this season. Like I don't see him putting on green tights.
No.
Unless, I don't know, Kringle gives them to him or something.
And then he'll never take them off. But no, well, he confirmed months and months ago that he's season 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's season 3. They've already, sketched out through season 3.
And Bruno Heller announced last week that, season 2 is going to be the Joker.
Right.
So,
and
this guy right here.
We've chatted about numerous times, the season was supposed to end at episode 16, which is when the Joker was introduced. This entire half season sort of got thrown together a little bit, in essence.
That's one of the reasons. Like, I hope over the summer we can get John Stevens or one of the other writers on here to
explain how that went.
Yeah, because they got the expansion from 16 to 22, which means I'm pretty sure they had to build the fish plot line, the whole Dollmacher thing, out of whole cloth, and probably the Ogre too.
Right. But you know what? I think the Ogre's story was great.
Oh, definitely.
And I
probably my favorite villain this season, except for the Dollmakers guys in the second episode.
Ones? Yeah. I think, it would be really interesting to see how that all went, because Fish could have easily left in episode 16 and we'd have been done with her.
Mm-hmm.
She took off.
Yeah.
They had to build in the boat and all of that. So that was really weird.
They're running at the guy in the boat.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
You wanted to talk a little bit about
Butch,
Penguin's favorite henchman,
but not really. But
Fish's favorite henchman, Penguin's acceptable henchman.
Right. Okay. So that's my whole deal. Butch was like slapped into shape by my buddy Zaz, and to listen to the Penguin. Mm-hmm. But the longer he's there, the more I actually believe he kind of like doesn't hate the Penguin.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, this is what I do. How's he gonna feel about, he basically set up these 2 guys to get killed?
Yeah. Well, he seemed impressed almost, if anything.
Do you think it was impressed?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I don't know if I quite got that.
Do you think he's gonna like try and double cross and like go back to Falcone?
I kind of do. Or is he gonna go to Maroni?
I
don't know.
I could see
I don't know at this point.
It all depends on what Fish does when she comes back.
Well, see, that's a whole other thing. That's going to trigger him to just go off the deep end.
I would like to say that Morgan Scorpion, and hi Morgan, I recognize you, in the chat room says, if they push Penguin into the background, it will be a big mistake. He's the show's biggest draw.
He is. Very
much agreed. I think if anything, they're going to, by the end of this season, they're just going to set him up to be in a very big, powerful position within Gotham. I don't think he's going to be in the background, but it's going to be sort of like, I don't know, like Commissioner Loeb is in the background now, where he's in the
still
background,
doing stuff,
but he's a powerful presence.
Right,
still.
He's still definitely powerful.
And I'm sure they'll have a Joker Penguin team up and a Riddler Penguin team up,
or a fight.
Oh yeah,
I think it would actually be more exciting to watch the 2 of them fight.
See them struggle over turf or territory, or I don't know, something. Just randomly psychotically killing somebody.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see what goes on with Butch, because I'm not sure who he's going to be loyal to.
Yeah.
I just don't know where his loyalties really are going to lie. Because I really never believed that little "let me do a dance for you" was real. That was him saving him. That's what that was.
Yeah.
I would do a little dance if somebody would have gotten in my head and said, "You will respond to this person." Okay. So, or will Penguin off him?
I don't know.
Because Butch has been very helpful. Butch has been very helpful.
Well, he's also been very annoying because he kind of undercut Penguin with the whole booze thing. Like, he brought in his own crew to get the booze when Penguin was already there to get the booze.
Yeah, but he got it in a significantly better way.
Yeah.
And, he's teaching him the way because Penguin didn't know all these things. Butch knew all of them.
Yeah. I think ultimately, I think Butch is loyal to Penguin up and until the point Fish shows up. Because, I mean, we've seen before he killed his childhood friend for Fish because his relationship with Fish meant so much to him. So I don't know. I just see him completely like throwing Penguin to the wolves the second Fish shows her face.
Yeah.
Her slightly disfigured from the helicopter crash face.
I'm curious who the wolves will be, though.
Okay. Well, I guess you know what time it is. It's time to look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. He's a toy. He has barrel hands for girls and boys. Jokers are cool. Jokers are rad. If you don't like Jokers, I'm your dad.
I got a cool little Lego guy.
Yeah, you want me to bring him up a little closer to the big camera? Oh, yeah, there we go. Hello, Joker. Hello, Joker. Yes,
so
look at this Joker. This is where we look at the clues, mentions, etc. about the Joker in Gotham. But there weren't any this week.
No.
So instead, we're going to be talking about this picture that David Ayer from the Suicide Squad, Suicide Squid, my friend Tom, did earlier this week, of Jared Leto as the Joker. Now, if you see here, he has tattoos all over him, big damage tattooed across his face, a big smiley face tattooed on his arm, and he has sort of like a rapper's grill almost, like fake teeth. So this is not going to be the official Joker of the Suicide Squad. I guess they did this just as a special one-off photo for the Joker's 75th anniversary.
Okay, but so this has been bothering me. You said that. Is this a photo or a drawing?
It's a photo.
Is it a photo?
Yeah, it's a photo.
Because it really looks like a drawing.
It's one of those really super highly stylized, almost HDR kind of photos. But I like the look. First of all, people will say the damage on the hair is too obvious. You got to remember, he's holding his hair back there. It would naturally fall over that tattoo to where you could just be like, and then kill you or whatever. Pull back the hair for a second.
Is that a thing?
No.
Okay.
But I will say that there have been ovations and indications online that this is definitely not the final look. In fact, there's been some leaked photos from cell phones on the set where he's wearing a white suit, more like in The Dark Knight Returns or something like that. So if you don't like this look, it's okay. It's probably not going to be the final look.
There will be bits of this, though.
I actually really like the grill because it shows, that he has a big history fighting the Batman, or being in a lot of fights and getting his teeth broken.
Oh.
Because that makes sense because this is going to be an older Joker because Batman's an older Batman. A Batman who's been operating for about 10 years. So obviously he has some battle scars probably.
I'm sure he does.
And you said you like this too, right?
Yeah, I do. I really do. This is kind of exciting for me. I also love Jared Leto. It's okay. Yeah. Whatever.
It's we were talking about this before the show started.
About Jared Leto looking 10 years younger than he did in My So-Called Life.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he aged down. I think it was, what was it, Prefontaine or whatever that got him to crazy physical shape, and it's just stayed. I don't know. So there's that.
Yeah, but
there's my story.
I think we're both cautiously optimistic about the new Suicide Squad Joker. One thing we wanted to mention real quick, and obviously this will be after next week's episode, but just to give it a little bit of a tease here. On May 16th, we're going to be teaming up with our friends, our compatriots, our fellow Justice League members at the DCTVpodcast.com collective. And we're going to be doing a big live stream all day where we're each recording one of our podcasts. And what's the charity?
I'm not sure the specific one, but it is going to be going towards cancer research because I don't know if you're familiar or not. One of the podcasters from Supergirl Radio, Rebecca Johnson.
Yeah, and she also calls in here all the time.
She does. She is a breast cancer survivor, so we are doing this in support of her and I believe the facility that helped her. So, excuse me. So that's what we are going to be raising money for. I believe the collective goal is $500. And as soon as we have a link, we will be sharing it all over the place.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, but just a heads up, May 16th, we're going to be doing a fun little
bonus
event. Oh, I will say that Morgan in the chat room said in the LA Times interview tonight, Robin Lord-Taylor talked about his final scene with Jada. Apparently, it's quite short, and it left him in tears.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that should be pretty interesting. Okay, we're going to play, I do have a Dogboy audiobook coming out this week, Dogboy, Eye of the Scarab. And so, first of all, I just wanted to say, if anyone wants a copy, they give us, Audible gives us a bunch of copies to give away. So if you want a copy, email me, legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Free copy. And this clip
Sorry.
This clip that I'm going to play you, it's from the last third of the book. Basically, Dogboy's breaking into City Hall, and when he gets confronted by the police, he busts out with a few familiar names. You might be you might catch the references here, but we'll play this and we'll be right back.
The commander noticed the delay. He snapped his neck around. "Who's the kid?" he asked. "Some people call me the Curse of Colta City," Dogboy said. "Others call me the Bark Knight. I prefer Dogboy, thank you very much." The commander pulled out his pistol and fired it at the teen terror. Before the bullet left the chamber, Dogboy hopped out of time, ran to the gun, then pointed it up at the ceiling. Time in. The commander jumped as the bullet's breach knocked some drywall dust down on his head. "What the hell was that?" the commander said. "You'd better watch your language, mister. My mom would have slapped me for saying something like that. Since she's not here, I guess I'll do the honors." Dogboy produced his orange ball again, then tossed it at the wall. It went clean through, leaving nary a mark on the eggshell paint job. "Fetch," he told the commander, who ran at the wall. He did not go through it like the ball had. His forehead smacked against the plaster.
Dogboy, Eye of the Scarab by Bill Meeks. Pick it up today on Audible, Amazon, Kobo, or Nook at book4.dogboyadventures.com. Yeah, but that's Dogboy, Eye of the Scarab. And like I said, if you want to, you can go there and buy a copy. It's available, in EPUB format or Kindle, all that kind of stuff. Or you can just email me, legendsofgotham@gmail.com, and I'll send you a free copy because I'm nice like that. Okay, before we get back into the main discussion, Bobby, who's in the chat room tonight, I found an interesting little Easter egg here that I wanted to go ahead and mention, but we'll go ahead and let him talk about it, and then I'll show it to you.
Hey guys, I just wanted to share a possible 66 Batman Easter egg I saw to go along with Bill's Chief O'Hare spotting. Maybe I'm wrong, but in the scene with Bruce and Alfred in the study, I'm pretty sure I saw a small medium that was reminiscent of the bust that Adam Westwood, the button for the bat poles. They lift up on the head and press the button for the bat poles. Maybe I'm wrong. Just thought I'd share.
Yeah, Bobby, I went ahead and pulled a screen grab of it here. I'm showing it on the stream, but yeah, this is definitely the William Shakespeare bust that was on Bruce Wayne's desk in the old 60s show. And this is something that I feel like we might have seen before, but I
think we saw it, but we didn't think of it that way.
Or if we noticed it or mentioned it, it's been so long that we forgot about it. So probably good to point out again for people who missed it. So thank you very much for that, Bobby. Exactly. And just some people saying in the chat room here that they're not a fan of the Fish character, and they're probably pretty happy to see her leave.
I was good with her up until, honestly, if they'd have just let her go at 16, I'd have been good.
It would have been a satisfying arc for her.
We did not need the doll mocker.
Well, I guess we should talk about her friend with benefits, though. Harvey steps out to the sex club in this episode
and got scared
a little bit.
Yeah.
Which it was one of my favorite parts about the entire episode. It was just that the whole Ingrid and Garrett, I believe the names were, that were putting on the show at the Fox Club and everything. But they didn't show anything going on stage. But the look on Harvey's face and the how horrified he was.
There was a pig.
Yeah.
There was a chainsaw.
But the look on his face and his reaction said so much more than anything they could have possibly filmed, especially anything they could have shown on Fox. But I mean, really anywhere.
Right.
Like the things I'm picturing in my head, you don't want to know.
I can't even picture it, and it's best.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason it works so well is because Harvey is he's like this old, crusty, nasty guy. We saw the girl he brought to Jim's place earlier in the season. And, like he's always drunk. And, he's just this really nasty.
I think he's turning around. I think he's turning around, definitely. And he looks good in an Italian suit that somehow made it into his locker.
Somehow. Funny how that happened.
Funny. Very funny.
But, the fact that we know that he's not exactly the most prim and proper person in Gotham kind of made that impact even more so that, Ingrid and Garrett, you don't want to see that act.
I think the thing about it that really surprised me is how quickly he was like, oh, no.
Oh, nope, we're done.
GCPD. Like, he waited no time. Like, I thought he would at least, hang on a little bit.
Maybe he had a pet pig when he was growing up, and he just couldn't handle it.
Rip pig.
But I also really like this episode that Harvey kind of gut checked Jim there in the torture chamber and everything. Being like, Jim, you understand we're probably not going to save her. She's probably already gone. I just need you to be prepared for that. And it kind of struck me how much their dynamic has changed since earlier in the season, because earlier in the season, at first it was distrustful and then back and forth and this, that, and the other, and slowly building into sort of like a okay partnership, just like, okay, we're partners, so we have to work together kind of thing, to where now it's almost like they're bosom buddies. They're firm partners now. And Harvey wants Jim to be okay because he likes Jim and he needs Jim.
Right.
And he likes what Jim's doing within the police department. And so, a big turnaround from the first half of the season. Also, though, I thought that Jim had a very kind of, in the opposite direction, turnaround, where he was okay with doing the enhanced interrogation on the pimp to get the location of the Fox
Harvey,
lab.
I'm going to break code. I think I saw some donuts.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love that. I like that they're rubbing off on each other.
But the thing is, though, that's something that Jim would have been vehemently against earlier in the season. And it kind of makes me think that maybe we're going to see a darker turn for Jim in season 2, because not only is he's becoming very obsessive and very, all of this falls on my shoulders, but he's also in a lot of ways believing his own hype. And I think that's a very dangerous thing. And I think that's probably what has caused a lot of, police officers in the GCPD to fall off the wagon and get involved with all these criminals and everything. And he's already making compromises everywhere with Penguin. And, when the hooker is like, hey, if you find the ogre, will you kill him for me? And he's like, yeah. And that's not proper police procedure. I mean, he's letting his personal investment in the situation clouded his judgment, and he's not the completely morally centered character that we had earlier in the season.
It'll come back around.
Yeah, probably, but I think that would be an interesting arc for him in season 2, to where he kind of maybe
dips a little.
Yeah, maybe I like bending the rules a little bit. Maybe it's more effective.
Mm-hmm. Well, like we saw him with Butch and Penguin.
Yeah. Well, plus he had that whole big speech, I think in the first or second episode. It was right before Oswald showed up at Barbara's door, where he was talking about how you can't have vigilantes because there's law and order, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And I think maybe we also might see towards the end of the season or next season, maybe he's a little more okay with a balloon man, or maybe he's more okay with a Der Fledermaus.
I don't think he's really okay with that. He's still really majority working for the side of the law. Like, he just wants to bring all the villains to justice, but he's going about it mostly legally. I don't know, he roughed up a pimp.
I'm just saying
he killed a guy that actually, they kind of had to kill him. There was no way out there.
Oh, yeah, in the situation he was in at the mansion and everything, totally had to kill the ogre, no question. Yeah. But I'm just saying that, we're seeing Jim kind of slide a little bit. And Bobby in the chat room also mentions that, earlier in the season, Jim used a phone book on a guy too. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Even the whole office fights from the mask episode or Black Mask episode.
Yeah, but, you have to do what you have to do. Some of it is really just keeping him alive, keeping him afloat.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the balloon guy.
A bloat. A float. Not a boat.
It's a boat and it's a float.
Nobody, no crime. Nobody, no crime. Sorry, go ahead. Leslie. Sorry.
Leslie. No, Lee. She kind of impressed me in this episode. Like, you could tell there was jealousy there over how, like, up in arms he was over Barbara. He's not sleeping. He's not eating. He just, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I thought she did pretty good covering her jealousy there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you need to eat. You need to do stuff. No, I gotta find her. I gotta find her. But I like that at the end he basically gave her. He's like, no, I love you, not her, or here, as I put in the doc. I'd still protect you over her. She needed that. You could tell, like, there was like relief in her face, like. So, more power to her. But can she do something, please?
I was about to say the one complaint I had through the whole Ogre arc really is that, she's made about one appearance an episode, playing the part of the girlfriend that we saw Barbara playing in the first few episodes. Just kind of like, are you okay, Jim? What do you need, Jim? You need someone to bounce some ideas off of, Jim. Where, for a while there, she was
good.
Had all of her fingers in on all of these investigations that Jim was doing. And I wonder if it might have something to do with her having to hop off to do the Deadpool movie or something.
Oh, it might.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing about that is, that's why nobody liked Barbara.
Yeah, and you have
So
her...
Gorkins here. I don't know.
Yeah, and you have her there in the GCPD, so it just makes sense to have her at least
do something
kind of involved in the investigation,
or even doing her job. She shouldn't just be like up on the floor bringing him a sandwich.
Yeah,
it was a little weird.
Okay,
so there's that.
So Barbara's pretty much cracked, right? She's done. She's like fried mentally, right?
Can you imagine?
I cannot.
Like, he killed her parents, which I have things to say about that. Like.
But first of all, what I want to know is what exactly was in that drink. Because at first, when he first gave it to her, before it was even revealed there was something in it, like I was like, oh, he's going to knock her out with that liquid, even though he's telling her it's just water.
Well, I'd believe him it was water.
But whatchamacallit, like, at first I thought it was just some sort of like knockout juice or a roofie or something like that. But I actually think it might have been like some sort of like psychotropic or hallucinogenic thing, because she seemed to have a really hard mental break after that, where before she was terrified, rightly so, she became sort of like Precious Moments doll, like,
Jim, you shouldn't be here. Why are you here, Jim?
Mommy, I love your red blush. Why did you put it on Daddy?
Oh.
Yeah, but it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. So I definitely think there was something more going on with that drink, which I wonder how that's going to affect her going down the road. She's probably at Arkham now, probably. I also absolutely love, probably my favorite thing the character has ever done, that she asked the Ogre to kill her parents.
Okay, I didn't
read ahead. Made me so happy.
I didn't read ahead because my next point almost says the complete opposite.
Fair enough. Compare, contrast. No, but I loved it just because, and it seemed like they were building to this with her walking in on them in the locker room and everything a few episodes back, that she was going to ask him to kill Leslie because she was jealous of Leslie because of Jim. And so I thought it was really nice that, for one, that she asked him to kill her parents instead, because we knew they had a rocky relationship anyway. I almost forgot that she had parents, actually, because it's been so long since we saw that. I think it was
just one scene, yeah.
That was the episode where Jim was working at Arkham. So that was like way back in January or something. I'd almost completely forgotten about them. But I love that they didn't go the easy route and just make it about jealousy or about, her being jealous of Leslie or about the relationship or whatever. And that probably would have backfired on her anyway, because the Ogre, there's one thing, he has a bunch of unspoken rules, and if you break them, you're dead. Yeah. And one of them apparently is don't mention Jim. Yeah. So don't mention his current girlfriend, right?
Well, no, but the current girlfriend's what's going to hurt him. So... Are you?
Oh, and she looked really, 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 really creepy in the last scene there. And even the chat room says Barbara somewhat reminds me of Miriam Loeb, Trouble for Jim in the Future, perhaps.
Possibly.
Yeah, definitely like the Commissioner Loeb's daughter.
Yeah,
for sure.
I remember. See, okay, me with the whole tell me who to kill Barbara. Okay, he's demanding for a name, any name. She literally could have said anyone. I know that her relationship was rocky with her parents, but it's her parents. You could tell even when they were there, she didn't want him to do it. It's like,
well, see, I don't know if that's true. I kind of think that if it had to be anyone, she wanted it to be them. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, why did he even ask for a name, though? He shouldn't have had to ask her for a name, because when he realized that she wasn't with Jim, shouldn't he have done a little research to find out that he was with Lee and just gone after her?
Well, they haven't exactly attended any charity balls together, so it might have been a little harder to suss that out.
Yeah, but she was in the background. They purposely actually put her, I think. She was at the press conference.
But before the camera, she moved before the camera started rolling. Because I remember the press conference being just like a solo shot of Jim, nothing in the background.
Yeah, but you think nobody was watching? Like nobody, I don't know.
Well, I think the thing is, you meet a guy, you go out on a couple dates. What's the next step? You bring them back home to meet the parents.
That's just wrong.
No, I mean, seriously.
That's so wrong.
Okay. Well, you go out on a couple dates. Maybe you have a sleepover, and then you go to meet the parents. And I really think that's all that was going on here. But let's see here. Okay, so Penguin is more and more, and we've pointed this out before, taking after Fish, and kind of stealing some pages out of Fish's playbook with the whole pitting mobsters against mobsters, letting them fight it out, and then you're the last one left standing there. Yeah. This didn't go too well for Fish, obviously.
No.
So I'm sure that the Penguin realizes that. So if he realizes that, why is he doing it? Why this plan specifically? I think what's going on here is he needs to prove to himself. I mean, Fish is out of the picture. Who cares what she thinks? But he needs to prove to himself that he can do what Fish couldn't, and that's come out on top in this whole big conflict going on in the Gotham mob scene. It's completely about proving Fish wrong in that, because she thought the Penguin was weak and only deserved to be like an assistant at most. And I think he just wants to prove her wrong, more or less.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. Yep.
Did you like the reveal of it overall? Of the Penguin's big plan?
Yes. Yeah, that was fun. It really, and you kind of got that as soon as hired hitman is like, basically tells Maroni he's from Falcone. You're like, oh, you can just see it even before the gun doesn't go off. So.
Oh, also, the title of the episode might have had a little bit of a play there too. Been referencing that scene a little bit too, because anvils and hammers are both parts of guns, I believe. I'm not a big gun guy, so someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure like the anvil or the hammer comes down and hits the anvil, and that's what pushes the bullet out of the gun. And I'm assuming maybe the firing pin that the Penguin took out of the guns is involved in that mechanism somehow. If so, that makes it an even more clever title. Bobby in the chat room says, at that point, it wasn't about Jim. The ogre wanted Barbara, and he wanted her to be compliant, which I completely makes sense, too.
I could see that.
Like, he didn't really care about Jim anymore until he busted into the parents' place, right?
Yes.
So, one last little familiar phrase here to wrap up with.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
There's
a head in the box.
There were like pint glasses for some people I saw on Twitter that Gotham was sending out. Send us pint glasses. We'll drink out of them every episode.
I drink. I drink. I like
we'll give some away too.
Yeah, sure. Send us extras. Yeah, those perfect, like I said, those perfectly placed words, the last words to Maroni. And how the guy's like, I don't understand why you say something to him right before you kill him. Yeah, well, that's because you're dying and your head's going in a box. So I thought that was kind of neat. But I love how quick everything went from there. From there on, heads in the box. We're attacking 3 businesses.
And that emo psalm playing.
Oh, I don't even know.
Stares at his wall.
Yeah, and like Maroni with that crazy gun that like, boom, boom, I don't know, like whatever was in that car is no longer anything. It's like dust. Yeah, basically, it's just going to get interesting, and I'm kind of excited.
Bruce staring at his wall of evidence.
You're obsessed.
Well, the thing
with
is,
the walls of evidence.
both in Gotham and on Once Upon a Time this season, the wall of evidence has been like a major plot point in both shows, and it's come up several times in several different walls of evidence.
Right.
So it's just, it feels like the TV writers in the world are conspiring to sell yarn and tape and push pins and maps.
I want to make one.
So, arbitrary scale. Let's see here. Out of 12 big babies in the Foxglove Sex Club, how many big babies in the Foxglove Sex Club do you give this episode?
10 in a bottle.
Why?
This episode is amazing. I love that it's been building up so much and building up and building up. What are you doing over there? I can't wait to see, like, we're going to look at the preview here in a few minutes, but it literally goes kaplowy.
Yeah, it's
I
just all kaplows.
I can already give you, next week is probably a 12 out of 12.
A 12 out of 12?
I'm giving it.
You're calling it now. You're calling it this far
out. I might
out.
be calling it now.
You've never given a perfect score to any episode of any show we've ever done a podcast about.
I know, but I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited.
I hope it lives up to your expectations.
So do I. Otherwise, I'm going to cry all summer.
It's a big mountain to climb.
Big mountain.
Okay, and as for me, and we're by the way, I put the scale in the chat room too if you guys want to weigh in over there. I'm going to go ahead and give it 11.3. I'm not going to tell you what the 0.3 represents. Big babies in the Foxglove Sex Club. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. If anything, I think that I feel like they're playing the Riddler story a little too slow, and I have your complaint that you had earlier in that Leslie had like nothing to do with this episode.
She hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah.
So
those are my big complaints, but really good storyline for Harvey. I thought Ben McKenzie showed more range in this episode than he has in the entire series so far. I thought he did really good, and I always love a little Bruce Wayne in my life, and there was a little tiny short Bruce Wayne in this one.
And we didn't even mention he came clean to Alfred about.
About Selena and stuff, but Alfred totally already knew that something was going on.
So
there.
He knew something was going on, but he didn't necessarily know the entire truth. So there's that.
I think what's the highest?
12 out of 12 would be the highest, Morgan.
12 out of 12. So, but a really good episode. Really excited for next week and everything. We have some news and some of your thoughts from the feedback and everything. But first, we want to tell you just a little bit about our Patreon at patreon.com/universebox. Anne-Marie, you want to give them the gist?
Sure. Okay. Currently, we are producing 3 weekly video podcasts: Legends of Gotham, Greetings from Storybook, and Universe Box. Right now, we're working to up our content. We want to bring you more and more specials, possibly another full-time show even, and even up our production values on our current shows. But to do that, we really need everybody's help, which is where the Patreon comes in. You could donate anything from 10 cents to $50, $10, $5. I don't care. Whatever you got to spare, we'll take it. We just want to start producing some more content. It'll help with our books, our blogs, our podcasts, everything. We've already hit 2 milestones. We no longer have ads other than internal. And we have a monthly patron exclusive hangout, which we actually held this past Saturday.
Yeah, where we all get together on a Google Plus hangout
and just hang out. Yeah. We literally just hang out. There was a lot of singing this week. We like to sing. It's a thing we do. It's actually also one of the rewards. I believe for $5 or more, we will sing you a song. Very bad. Very bad.
Like we do every week on Legends of Gotham.
Yes. Sure. So our next goal is when we hit $200 a month, and we'll be doing patron exclusive movie commentaries. And right now we are scheduled to do Goonies, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the first Harry Potter movie as our first 3 movie commentaries. And those will go straight to our patrons before being released to the public, I think 6 months later or something like that. So it's a great motivator. We're currently at $150.50 with 24 patrons.
Yeah, thank you very much, patrons.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We seriously do. So
they also got I released 2 new books this week, and our patrons got both of them for free.
So. We love to give free things. Love to give free things. So patreon.com/universebox and help us out.
Yeah, definitely. And we thank everyone who's done that so far.
And another thing, if you only want to make a one-time donation, if you go to YouTube, there's like a donate or support this site link, and you can make a one-time donation.
Yeah, you can do that from pretty much any YouTube video.
Any of our YouTube videos.
Okay, well, that's about that for that. So now, on to the news. News. First, I should probably mention in the chat room, we got a couple arbitrary scales here. Morgan gave it a 12 big babies in the Foxglove Sex Club out of 12. Let's say because of Jim's ace shooting, Barbara's spine and newfound wealth, the arrival of Mr. Fox, and Penguin's cunning plan.
Barbara is even more ridiculously wealthy now. Maybe that was part of it.
The money thing?
See, that would make sense to me. Maybe they were cutting her off.
Could be. Well, she's been doing fine off of her art, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure she's doing great off of that.
And Eve gives it 11.4 out of 12. And I'm sure we'll hear Bobby's in a little bit. But first off, the ratings. By the way, you can get the links to all of these stories in the show notes at legendsofgotham.com for this week's episode 31. Mm-hmm. And the ratings on Fox Gotham earned a 1.5 share, down 6% from last week's 1.6 adults 18 to 49.
That's just wrong.
Again, we're still like way down there in Flash Arrow numbers. Down. Like, ooh, stinky Flash Arrow numbers. Like Gotham usually does much better. I'm sure we'll do much better.
Yeah, I think those are going to have to be adjusted up. I think we're really, really going to see. When are they, when's it going to Netflix? Is it over the summer?
Yeah, I believe it's over the summer.
I think next season's going to open with a bang. Could you?
Yeah, Eve says, could you add a $1 pledge over on the Patreon? Yeah, yes. Definitely. Anything 10 cents is just the lowest.
10 cents is the lowest. You can totally do $1.
Yeah, you could do
a dollar a month. We'll take it.
Yeah, $1. You could do $1.10 if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you really wanted to go 10 cents.
Although Patreon will probably keep that 10 cents.
They'll keep the 10 cents.
You know how they are.
But yeah, so I don't understand. I think these have to get adjusted somewhere. But summer, it's just going to go.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're going to come back stronger than ever. And I think it's probably just that mini break we had just lost momentum. Oh, Bobby checked in 10 out of 12.
10 out of 12.
Big babies in the Foxglove Sex Club.
Yep.
Foxglove Sex Club. That's like almost Dr. Seuss. The Cat in the Hat, the Foxglove Sex Club.
We're moving on. I can't even let you go there.
Okay, so we're going to check out this preview for next week here real quick. Season 1, episode 22, All Happy Families Are Alike. And I think that's Fish on a Boat starting off. So I think
I'm on a boat. Not only. We will woo Gotham.
Maroni and his funny accent. Oh, Penguin says, the day I met you, I was planning your demise.
I love it.
Bunch of gun shooting.
Hello,
Fish with
fishy.
Shaved side head. Jim with the Tommy gun.
Ding.
Bruce Wayne with the garage door opener.
Or rather, the fireplace opener. Okay,
or rather,
so
the
right
Batcave opener.
Alfred looks like he's never seen it before either.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Alfred is
not in on it.
I'm assuming he wasn't clued in to
everything.
To Thomas Wayne's, running around behind with Lucius Fox and everything. I'm sure Alfred wasn't involved in that. He was just the manservant,
Right, but
he has a special relationship with Bruce. His relationship with Thomas was always just like, he's my employer. It's cool.
Okay.
Or at least as far as I've read it. I mean, different interpretations and whatnot. Oh, and we just wanted to point this out here real quick. One of our listeners, Wynn, sent this over to us at desktopgremlins.com. They have a bunch of free papercraft dolls you can print out with your color printer and fold together. And they have one for Batman. So get over here. Get your Batman papercraft. It's really easy. They have instructions. You just print out the sheet, cut it out, fold it up.
Ta-da.
Good to go. But we'll have that link for the show notes for you over at legendsofgotham.com as well. Okay, next up, well, like I said, next week we are doing the show on Wednesday night instead of Tuesday night. So you do have a little bit of time.
You don't quite have to run.
After you're done watching Gotham next week, what you should do, you should take the drink that the Ogre has offered you, drink it, fall asleep, wake up, see colors, taste sounds, email us, legendsofgotham@gmail.com, tweet us at legendsofgotham, Facebook is facebook.com/legendsofgotham. And before you turn into a porcelain doll, voicemail call us at 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352.
You're not supposed to be here.
First up is Bobby.
What's going on?
Take it away, Bobby.
Hey, Bill and Amory, it's Bobby. I'm
Bobby.
really surprised at the places this show is going, being that it's airs at, 8 o'clock network primetime television. I'm no prude, but Jesus. First off, I'm really glad that Barbara wasn't fully compliant in what happened to her. The ogre really put her through the ringer, but whether she was drugged or not, she chose her parents to be murdered. I found that surprising because I really thought she was going to say that she wanted Lee murdered, but we all knew she didn't like her parents. And she was there when it happened. I mean, she had blood splatter and whatnot on her. So, I mean, what is this going to go do to her going forward as a character, as a person? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that for the first time this whole series, I'm actually interested in what's going on with Barbara.
Me too, definitely. And I still hold, and I've been saying this for weeks now, that they're going to turn her into a supervillain.
I think she'll be a beautiful supervillain.
Definitely. Beauteous.
Furs and diamonds.
What if she gets in that Arkham Asylum there and starts talking to that Jerome there, and maybe gets
Is he in Arkham?
Little Joker proto Harley Quinn going. Yeah, I'm assuming he's probably in Arkham because he's crazy and he's been caught.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it took this to come to that. This also was the episode that I really thought would drive Barbara and Jim back together, and that didn't happen. So again, more interest going forward. And then we've got the world's greatest little detective on the case, and he gets caught on his first outing, so maybe he's not so great just yet. Sad face, he's told that his dad may not be the man that he thought he was, but then he's introduced to Lucius Fox, who secretly tells him that maybe his dad was great, and in his own way tells him to carry on the good fight. I think it's a great character to introduce to the show, and can't wait to see what they do with him. But of course, my favorite part of the episode would be Bullock, one of my favorite characters, showing up at the Foxglove. What the hell was going on with that club? I mean, there was Japanese schoolgirls, there was a big giant baby bunny wearing a diaper, everyone was wearing leather, there was Harlequin clowns. What the hell? But the best part was when...
I will say, when he was walking through that club, I was like, this is the origin of all the flamboyant costumes that all the villains in Gotham wear.
They were all
Once
here.
this club got busted, they had to sell off the excess inventory, so...
I wonder if there was a condiment king.
Possibly.
It's
I don't
been a
know.
while. I needed to bring it back.
It seems like the kind of club where a condiment king would be optional, but...
Ingrid and Gareth were introducing, you saw Bullock's face slowly melt into, oh, hell no. What the hell was going on the stage? I'm pretty sure I heard, a pig squealing and a chainsaw going. Good God. And, of course, it looks like Enigma's well on his way to becoming the Riddler. It sucks because, I mean, I like Edward Nygma as a character, but of course we all knew it had to go that way eventually, which is probably the whole point of, one of the goals of this series is to make us care about the villains. Speaking of villains, of course we all knew it wasn't going to be quite as easy as, the Penguin's taking out Maroni, because he needs them all to take out each other so he can be the last one standing. All in all, I thought this show our episode did a great job of not only tying up the Ogre's story arc, but ramping up things to bring us into the inevitable conclusion of the season. I just have one gripe. Where the hell are Montoya and Alan? It's been weeks now, and with this whole gang war ramping up, we need Montoya and Alan. So I'll give this episode 9 of 12 Doherty. 9 of 12 pieces of Doherty.
Thank you very much, Bobby. And yes,
she's right there.
Yeah, she's up on our wall here.
Montoya's right up there.
Yes, talking about how TV rules.
TV does rule.
Yes, but we want Montoya and Alan back too, and also
Montoya and Alan.
Our next
Montoya and Alan. Yeah, I'm just
people who like that sentiment might like our next letter too. And this is from Charles Johnson. He sent this in last week, after last week's episode. For context, he says, "First of all, love the podcast. Let me just say I really love the show, but I am having a lot of problems with it. It seems like it's all over the place. Are Montoya and Alan even still on the force or on some kind of sabbatical? Bring back Montoya and Alan! This week, Maroni appeared for the first time in how many weeks for seemingly no reason. That scene in particular was so over the top, I thought it was going to be a dream sequence. But I guess it was real. Falcone must be away in Florida playing golf because he hasn't been around. And I think he meant...
No,
he said Maroni. Okay. Falcone must be away in Florida playing golf because he hasn't been around. Who were those two people who got shot in episode 1? Oh yeah, Thomas and Martha Wayne. It's as if Gordon forgot he was even investigating that crime. I see people saying that.
I don't think so. There's just been a lot going on.
Well, the thing is, Bruce specifically called Jim off the case. Like, I mean, obviously, is a kid going to be able to tell a cop what to do? No. But he's a very rich and powerful kid. And Jim was doing it as a favor to the kid, you know.
But Jim had introduced Montoya and Allen to help with the case.
Maybe they're off investigating the murder.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Okay, I love the show. I just wish they would tighten up a few things. CJ Charles Johnson. Thank you very much, Charles. And an old friend of mine. Also, very clown-like, that guy. Okay, next up, let's take it away. Michael Lucero, what do you have to say?
Hey, Bill and Anne-Marie, it's Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Did Harvey just say pwn in this episode? So I really liked it. Jim violating departmental regulations on interrogations. I thought that was so much different from when Harvey was beating up a suspect in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking about when I mentioned that earlier.
I don't think Jim really beat that guy up, though. It seemed like he was about to crack when the scene cut to Jim walking down the hall. And I guess the threat was enough, and Jim knew that. So then his knowledge of police corruption and the other guy's knowledge were enough to get what he needed. And to me, this is good storytelling. At first, we see Jim with a noble code of ethics and a high standard, but unable to function in an atmosphere of complete corruption. And now he's learning to function within that atmosphere, being flexible enough to work within those strictures, but not actually sacrificing his ethical standards. I don't think episode 1, Jim could have or would have been able to do that, so I think that's really neat evidence of evolution of his character. The ogre stuff was great, but how creepy was Barbara in that last scene? I wonder if, what do you think? Is this the last we've seen of creepy Barbara, or do you think she's going to go on to become a super villainess?
I think we stated that earlier, Michael.
I hope so. What do you think was in Bunderslaw's safe? And do you think we'll go back to that? Or was that scene more about introducing the idea of Bruce's parents being possibly corrupt, possibly not?
I think that Blandersnatch never had anything in that safe.
Nope.
I don't think he would have kept any sort of incriminating evidence in there at all, personally, but that's just me. Oh, also Morgan says bring back Montoya and Allen.
I'm trying to find what the hashtag is because I know there is one.
Anyway, can't wait to see the gang war that's going to start up in the next episode, which I guess is the last one. So It's been a great season. Can't wait to hear what you all think. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you, Michael. And yeah, it kind of snuck up on us too. Okay, we have a couple of tweets, comments, short comments here to go out on. First of all, if you guys saw the video/picture we put out a couple weeks ago with the Chief O'Hara guy from the end of an episode, Pastor of Batman commented on the site and said, "Wow, if that wasn't intentional, it should have been. Good call, Bill. As much as I've watched Batman 66 recently, I'm embarrassed that I didn't notice the similarity." And you want to take these tweets?
Yeah, I'll take these. Okay, Chinook, at Andreas_sh, heard a radio spot with a man and a woman talking excitedly about Gotham. Sad it wasn't at Legends of Gotham, Bill Meeks and AM DeSimone.
We were too.
Reginald Anderson says, I gave it a 10, outstanding, and Chad Fiesel, I liked it.
And Eve, who is also in our chat room tonight, at Eve Canis, says, I honestly clapped at Penguin's plan. Once again, people playing off each other without getting his hands dirty, or playing people off each other without getting his hands dirty for now. And also loved Nigma's little hint in his fake letter. Plus, Barbara shocked me as she targeted her parents and not Jim. All interesting stuff. And thank you so much for everyone who wrote in. Like I said, next week, you have an extra day. You don't have to stress out too much. What you do, you kick back a fifth of Jack, take 12 hits of acid, take a nap. Then wake up. Email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com.
Are you gonna wake up after a fifth of Jack and 10 hits of acid?
Well, after 10 hits of acid, I don't think they're going to go to sleep. Tweet us at Legends of Gotham. Facebook at facebook.com/Legends of Gotham. Wow. And the voicemail number where you can reach our parents, 424-274-2352. 424-274-2352. Rare form tonight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone.
And as for me, you can follow me online at Bill Meeks. You can follow all the podcasts we do, both this one, Greetings from Storybrooke, about ABC's Once Upon a Time, and Universe Box, a story set to a theme, the show about everything, at universebox.com. And you can follow the superhero stories I write, Dogboy Adventures, at dogboyadventures.com. And again, we want to thank our chat room. Another quick reminder that we will be broadcasting next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. EST at live.universebox.com. And I guess that's about it, probably, right? I think
so.
Is there anything else?
Nah.
Okay, well, join us next time then for more
Legends of Gotham. We do this every week.
Legends of Gotham. They are legends, and they are Gotham, and I am Batman.
Wow.
Sorry, I got into a thing there. It was weird.
You really did.
Just a little bit. I felt the bat flowing through me. What?
I guess they're screening the finale tonight for the cast.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Very cool. That's a shame that we didn't know that. We probably could have got some live tweets from them.
Yeah, but it hasn't started yet.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Well, check out the cast tweets, I guess. After this, they will be broadcasting everything there.
Maybe.
But thank you again so much, guys. We had a fairly big chat room for
I know,
Gotham.
For Gotham, this was an awesome chat room. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's nice to see new people in there.
I forgot to tell you, we beat last night on Greetings from Storybrooke. Yeah. We beat our record.
Oh,
we had 125 live viewers last night. So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty good.
Weren't we crazy last night? I was in rare form.
We were insanely crazy, but it was very good.
Oy vey.
But if those of you who like Universe Box, we'll see you on Thursday. Those of you who don't, we'll see you next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.